Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Amon Manson Network, and I am Nandi. So, I am very happy to be having our second video in this series. And as I promised last week when we did the video on the vision board, how to create a vision board, why we need to create a vision board, and we actually, you know, went through the process of doing that. And I promised you that this week we would look at affirmations, how to write affirmations that actually work in our lives. Now, if you are wondering, who is this person who thinks she has the right to tell me how to write affirmations? Well, I suggest that you go back to that video and watch the introduction to the video on making vision boards, where I expressed briefly what my credentials are and why I am in the position to be making these suggestions to you as to how to write your affirmations. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you an actual affirmation that I use. I've been using this affirmation for years. It's an affirmation that I wrote for myself, but I'm going to share not all of it. I'm going to share maybe almost two-thirds of that particular affirmation. And I'm going to also invite you, if you would like me to help you to write your affirmations, or if you want me to write an affirmation for you entirely from scratch, there is a process on how to do that. My contact will be placed in the description of this video. Reach out to me and I will let you know what the process is. There's a form that you would fill out with your information, and I would certainly help you to write your affirmations at a small cost to you. Now, let's go into it. I'm actually going to be showing you on the screen, going to share the screen with you so you can see that affirmation. It's not the only affirmation I use. This particular affirmation, I record it. So I have an audio of it and I play that when I'm doing my laps every morning. So as I'm walking, I'm playing this and it's going on in my head. This particular affirmation is 5 minutes and 26 seconds long. I'm going to share with you the first 3 minutes of that affirmation. And but there are other affirmations that I use. I have 3 sessions daily where I meditate, I look at my vision board, I visualize. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, let's say 4 o'clock, 4 a.m., I have my first session, and each session lasts for roughly half an hour. So each session would include, I would sing particular songs and chants. I would have my vision boards up. I have 2 vision boards that I use presently. I would have them both up so I can look at the images and the words and visualize in my mind what I would like to achieve or what I would like to maintain. And then I would have a section where I close my eyes and I repeat this a particular affirmation. I'm not going to share that one with you because it's, of course, as you can understand, it's very, very personal. And even the one that I'm going to share with you today, I'm not sharing all of it. As you can imagine, there are aspects of it that are personal. So that's what each session is like. In the afternoon, I'll have another session. There are different songs that I sing in the morning, different songs that I sing in the afternoon, different songs that I sing in the night before I go to bed. So those are the 3 sessions where I have my affirmation, vision board, visualization, singing, chanting, right? Now, you will hear or see, because I'm going to actually have it on the screen, you will see in this affirmation that I am referring to spec. Now, let me introduce you to spec, and that is spelled SPECC. And spec it represents my concept of the deity as my concept of God, right? I call it spec. To me, it's more an it as opposed to being a he or even a she. It encompasses all, male and female. So I'm going to break down for you what spec means to me and what the letters represent. And so when you hear me referring to spec, just know that that's a concept of my deity. You can include or replace that with your concept of the deity, because to be honest with you, it really does not matter the name you give to it. What matters is the faith that you have in that thing. That is the cruncher. That is what makes the affirmations manifest. It's not the date itself or the name you give to it or the holy book that you use or even the rituals that you perform. It's actually the faith that you have in that thing. So if your deity is a mouse and you strongly believe in that deity, you have great faith in it, great anticipation of what that deity will manifest in your life. If you believe you are the deity, all the same, if you are the deity and you have faith in yourself, you will manifest. As far as I see it, we are all a fraction of the all, of the grand mover, the unmoved mover, as it is called. We are a fraction of that. And in being a fraction of it, we have access to the power that it has, the creative power, the power of manifestation. So we have access to that in being a part of it, right? So it's all encompassing. So I'm going to break down, first of all, the concept of spec, and I have written about spec in some of my books. I would encourage you to go on Amazon.com and check out the list of books that I have there. I so far have 28 books that I have authored, and some of the ones in the series, Any Thoughts, would go into more detail in terms of my concept of the deity, which I call spec. So it's SPECC. The word itself in English, similar to the word spec, SPECK, that represents the speck, the dot, the black dot, as the Egyptians would call it, the or in physics, that infinitesimally tiny thing from which the entire creation exploded, right? So it is the black dot, the black hole, whatever you want to think of it as. So the speck, it represents something very, very tiny, but in representing something very, very tiny, it also represents something infinite, something enormous, because in the microcosm, we see the macrocosm and vice versa, right? So a speck of dust, we emerge from specks, from organisms that are not visible to the naked eye, and yet here we are now visible, right? And that is how creation manifests itself. So the word itself has a meaning. Also know each letter in that word. So S means simulated, right? So it's a simulated perspective of the evolved cosmic consciousness, right? That's what spec means. Simulated perspective of the evolved cosmic consciousness. Why simulated? Because for me, reality exists in the mind of the creator. So it's a simulation. It is real and yet not real. It's like a dream happening in the mind of the all. And so we are a part of the simulation. Because we are a part of the simulation, for us, it is real. It is real. It's just as when you are the characters in your dream, for them, the dream is real, right? But it is a simulation to your mind. Perspective, I would say the word perspective is my favorite word in the English language. Perspective represents to me the fact that every human being on this planet sees the world, sees life, sees himself, sees everyone else from that unique place and that unique time in history that nobody else has access to. So it is your perspective. It is from where you are standing. You see things according to where you are standing. And that is why it is so important for us to be open to other views, because you're not standing over there. You're not seeing what that guy is seeing. You're not seeing what that lady is seeing. She's over there, he's over there. Their vision, what they have access to, their field of vision is different from yours. And so you are going to see things differently. Their truth is different from your truth based on where they are standing. And that's why that word is so important to me, perspective. And also, I love to expose myself to information so as to broaden my perspective, as limited as it must be. Still, it can be widened to a point, and the more we widen it, the more we expose ourselves to information, the more we think, the more we analyze and compare and contrast, the better we're able to live together, because we can try to understand, try to empathize, or at least sympathize with what somebody else is going through. So that's the P in perspective. Evolved because, well, creation keeps evolving. Yes, it goes in cycles, but it's a progression, right? And we are evolving as a species, we evolve as individuals, systems evolve, relationships evolve, right? So evolution is very much a part of the creation. The cosmic consciousness, cosmic encompasses the creation, the universe, right? So it's not just us here on the third rock from the sun. What happens out there affects us here. And I would like to think vice versa. As minuscule as we are, as comparatively insignificant as we are, I would like to think that the things that we do have a ripple effect on the wider universe, as the wider universe has a ripple effect on us. Consciousness is what allows us to be communicating with each other right now. And I would like to get my consciousness to the point where I am able to do things such as telepathy, clairaudience, clairvoyance. I believe all those things are possible. And from I have known myself, I've been on a spiritual journey. I'm very heavily involved in fasting. I'm heavily involved in meditation, affirmation, eating healthy, all of those things. So there is no limit to me as to what we can do, because we have access to the divinity within us. One of my favorite words is namaste. The God in me recognizes the God in you. We all have a part of the divine in us. All right, so I wanted to just explain that to you, what I mean when I say spec. That is my concept of the divine. All right, so why do affirmations? Why should we be setting aside time to affirm things? And what does it mean to affirm? To affirm means to state as true. It is not to doubt, it is not to say if, it is to state it as if it is true. And whether you believe it or not, your mind it works on affirmations and it creates affirmations, whether you consciously feed it affirmations or not. If you do not take the autonomy and authority to feed it with what you want to feed it with, it will be fed randomly from a little bit of what he said, a little bit of what she said, a little bit of what came on the radio, a little bit of what came on the TV, the Facebook feed. Bits and pieces of that gradually will go, constantly will go. And your mind has to have something to work on. It must. That is how it works. And so you must steer it, you must guide it based on the desires that you want for yourself, right? What you want for your life, you must be the pilot. Put it on autopilot with what you want to manifest, not what it randomly will pick up, right? And it is important to have a scheduled time for your sessions. It is important for you to be consistent with your sessions. It is important for you to affirm. So it's not just to get any old words from anywhere and write them down. These words must be positive. These words must be affirmative. These words must have emotion. These words must be clear and precise. So as we go through this section of one of my affirmations, I'm going to be pointing out to you why I chose those particular words. I am a master, a self-proclaimed master at writing affirmations. If you want me to help you to write your affirmation, or if you want me to write an affirmation for you from scratch so you can say it in your sessions, just contact me in the link below and I will certainly do that for you. I'll tell you what the process involves. All right, so here goes. So I'm going to be sharing with you 3 minutes of the affirmation that I play for myself every morning while I'm doing my laps, while I'm walking around the field or walking along the road. I play this. The affirmation is 5 minutes and 26 seconds, and I'm going to share the first 3 minutes with you. All right, so let's go. Let me share the screen. Okay, so share screen. Okay, so let me just check that you're seeing what I am seeing. All right, so it's Incantations to Spec. That's the title of this particular affirmation. It was written by myself. I'm going to take you through it now. Now, the first part of the incantation, I repeat 7 words, and this number 7 is important. I first came upon this concept of the sevens when I read, I think it was The Power of the Subconscious Mind. That was the first book on mind power that I read. I stumbled upon that book. I know the book was placed there for me. I was staying with my aunt and one of her co-workers. She saw the book at her workplace. She just picked it up. She brought it home. She really had no interest in it, but I know it was sent for me. And I was 16 years old at the time. And I read that book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I believe that was the first book in which it said that the number 7 is important in terms of riveting the affirmation into the subconscious. So even when I'm doing the sessions, the visualization sessions, I repeat the affirmation 7 times. words for each session. So these 7 words are the words that I use, and in a minute I'm going to go through each one in the affirmations, explain what they mean. So it's redeem, rejuvenate, restore, replenish, reveal, realize, reassure. So again, redeem, rejuvenate, restore, replenish, reveal, realize, and reassure. And it says, constantly redeem us if we have strayed from the way. So that's why we say redeem, right? Because we may have done things that are in opposition to what the divine would want us to do. So we're saying redeem us if we have strayed from the way, order our steps from here on out. So it's like you're constantly starting over and saying, okay, from here on out, order our steps constantly. And this is why I keep repeating the word constantly, because you're putting it on autopilot. You don't just want it for now, you don't just want it for tomorrow, you want it for always. Constantly rejuvenate every cell in our body to its pristine and perfect condition. So that's what the rejuvenate mean. You're thinking at the cellular level in your body, every cell. Restore it to its pristine and perfect condition. Right? Constantly restore optimum function to the cells, tissues, organs, and systems of our life. So it's not just the body now, the cells of the body, yes, and the organs, but also the systems of our life. We want restoration. Constantly replenish our storehouse bountifully, bountifully, so that we have enough. So listen, this is important. Enough to use, enough to share, and enough to keep. So you want to have enough. You don't want to just be having enough for yourself, but you're also thinking of having enough to share with others, having enough to keep for a rainy day. So you always have enough for yourself, enough for family and friends, enough for posterity. Constantly reveal the facts pertaining to our personal, social, and business affairs. So you want revelation. You want access to information that is not ordinarily available when you don't take the time to listen to the inner voice. When you're just going through and exposing yourself to information from the outside, then you don't have access to that inner voice that is a wise voice. It's more learned, it's more calm, and it will tell you what to do. So we want access as it regards our personal, social, and business affairs. And we're saying to spec, we want you to be clear and elaborate. We don't want to doubt. We don't want to be saying, is this a sign? I wonder. We want the voice to be clear and elaborate. Constantly cause us to realize with crystal clarity what needs to be done and said according to our desires. Constantly reassure us that we are here, we are alive, we are worthy, we are progressing as we should. So this is a way of calming ourselves, being assured. We don't need to rush, we wait. So you affirm, you do positive things, you put in the effort, and you wait with the reassurance that it will manifest. Right? We are progressing as we should. We are here, we are alive, we are worthy, we are progressing as we should. most excellent and infinite spec. Continue to order our steps as you clear the path for us. Lead us on to the safest, most efficient, and most productive routes. Keep opening the doors of opportunity according to our expressed desires. So, this is saying that, hey, listen, we don't want to waste time. We don't want to be involved in things that are not going to lead anywhere. We don't want to invest in anything that will not give dividends. We only want to stay on the path that is safe, efficient, and productive. So I chose these words very, very carefully. Lead us on to the safest, most efficient, and most productive routes. Keep opening the doors of opportunity according to our expressed desires. And these expressed desires, of course, would be the images that we're feeding to ourselves when we make our vision board, when we put the words, the images. These are our expressed desires. May we remain decisive and innovative. You want to be decisive and innovative. You don't want to be ifing and butting. You don't want to be swaying. The mind acts best when you are decisive. Make a decision. Of course, you're going to have a moment or two where you have to analyze, you have to think about it, but then make a decision and stick with it, see it through. You can change your mind, but don't be in the habit of being indecisive and swaying, because then your subconscious will not respond to you. You also want to be innovative. You don't want to be a copycat. You want to dig into your creativity and come up with new ways of solving old problems, new ways of solving new age problems. Search our hearts for the deepest, noblest intentions. And yes, you do want to be noble. You don't want to use this power for bad. You want to use your powers for good. If they are in order with the greater good, do everything in your power to bring them into being. And you do want to align with the greater good. Bear in mind, you do not live on this planet or in this realm in a bubble. You're not here by yourself. This is a network. This is an interconnected interplay of everybody has intentions, everybody has desires, and it's an interplay of them. And you don't want to be selfish, you don't want to be greedy. You want your intentions to be in line with the greater good. And you, the mortal that you are, having the narrow perspective that you do, you might not know what is the greater good for the whole. And so you're saying to Spec, if these desires that I have are in order with the greater good, do everything in your power to bring them into being. Use all the resources available to you to help us in our bidding. All right, so we have two more slides to go. So now again, I'm saying most omniscient and omnipotent Spec. Speak to us in a clear voice. So again, we're saying we don't want to doubt. We want to know for sure that we are responding to the direct voice of the divine. Speak to us in a clear voice. Be very clear. Be specific. Let us know for sure exactly what to do, when to step, where to go, who to talk to, and what to say to achieve our noblest intentions. Let me read that again. Be very clear, be specific. Let us know for sure exactly what to do, when to step, where to go, who to talk to, and what to say to achieve our noblest intentions. Keep guiding us towards our true purpose. You know our hearts, you know our needs. Satiate us as we approach your divinity. So the ellipses now indicates that this is where I would have more personal parts of the affirmation, things that affect my business, things that affect my writing, my personal life, I would have included here. And then to wrap it up now, I say, spec, our companion, our chaperone, our faithful guide, align us with the earthly and the ethereal beings with whom we can learn, grow, share, and prosper. Amen. Be it resolved. Right? So I think of Spec, the divine, as my companion, my chaperone, my faithful guide. And I also am of the opinion that it's not just earthly beings that are sentient, that are, you know, that have access to the divine. I believe there are other worldly beings, ethereal beings. We have different names for them in different cultures, but I have reason to believe that they exist. And some are bad, some are good, some are neutral, just as some humans are bad, good, neutral. I want to align with the earthly and ethereal beings with whom I can learn, grow, share, and prosper. Amen. Be it resolved. So that's the first 3 minutes of my morning affirmation that I play to myself while I am doing my laps. And I exercise every morning. I do about an hour's worth of walking. I'm not a jogger, so I do an hour's worth of walking. I am a martial artist. I'm not presently active in martial arts. I stopped doing martial arts just before the pandemic, so that's about 3 years ago. I had my brown belt in karate, and I was just about to promote to black belt, and the pandemic hit, and then I just lost focus on that particular aspect. But actually, I ran into my sensei 2 days ago in the supermarket, and he was really encouraging me to start training, right? So I might just get back into that. But different from karate, I I like to get up in the morning and go for a walk. I walk for about an hour just to get my lymphatic system working, get the blood pumping, moving around the body, just and also to get that reflection in, to get those affirmations in. The morning for me is a very important time, and I firmly believe in rising early. I wake up at 4 a.m. If you read the autobiographies and biographies of great women and men, they will tell you that rising early is a crucial part of being great. I'm sure you have some late sleepers who are great too, but the vast majority of the movers and shakers, they will rise early. They will have some quiet moments to themselves where they just sit in, reflect, plan their day, just be with themselves, listen to the inner voice. They definitely will tell you that, right? So that has been a part of my life forever, for as long as I know myself. And so it has become habit, routine. So I get up at 4, I get my children ready for school, and then I do my laps. So I will listen to this affirmation for an hour. And when you're pumping these positive words into your brain for 1 hour, and this is separate and apart from the 3 affirmations that I tell you I do. So as soon as I wake up, I'll do my vision board, my affirmation, my meditation. And in the afternoon and before I go to bed. So this one that I do when I'm walking, that's the one I shared some of it with you. If you are inspired to, jot down your affirmations, just think about all the things that you want to achieve. Think about all the things in your life that you want to maintain. Think about how you want to mold your personality. And when you're writing the affirmation, make sure that you are positive. And that's why we call it an affirmation. You must affirm it, you must state it as being true. Right? So you write in the affirmative, write in the active voice as opposed to the passive voice. Write with a command to it, and make sure you are clear, make sure you are specific. Right? That's what I would encourage you to do. If you want some help, I am very good at writing affirmations, and I will certainly help you. So just hit me up. Check out the contact information in the description. Hit me up, and I will send you the form. So there's a form you need to fill out so that I can know who, because I have to have some information about you to personalize the affirmation for you. After you complete the form, and I'll let you know what the fee is, and we'll get started. I will write you a wonderful affirmation. If you choose, you can record it. It's best if you record it, because then it will be in your own voice. You can just have it on autoplay, play it back as many times as you want, or you can just type it out on your vision board. If you want, you can type it out in a book that throughout the day, at whatever time you get, you can go through and read it to yourself, whichever way you want to do it. For me, the voice is the better option. Just like when we're doing the vision board, a picture is worth 1,000 words on paper. But for the affirmation, the best thing is the voice. When we hear that voice, your own voice, even when I'm teaching literature, right, and I have my students who are doing certain poems for CSEC literature, I tell my students to record themselves saying the poems and play that back to themselves half an hour each day. So, for example, we have 20 poems that we cover during the syllabus for the CSEC. And I tell them, just say the poems, record yourself, play it back. When you hear your own voice, just as with your handwriting, when you take notes in your own handwriting, I think it's more powerful than you screenshot, or you take a pic from the board, or you screenshot a page from the textbook. So certain things, anything that gives you a more personal involvement in the thing, I believe you will get better results from. It will be more ingrained in your subconscious when you put in more personalized effort into it. Right? So just let me know, and I'm really hoping that you have been inspired by this video on affirmations. I'm really hoping that you're inspired to get your affirmation done and to start setting aside your sessions. It doesn't have to be a full half an hour in the morning like I do, half an hour in the afternoon, half an hour, whenever you can find the time. If it's just 20 minutes you can find, if it's just 10 minutes you can find, go ahead and do that, right? And if you want me to do more videos on affirmations, go into more detail with how to write affirmative statements as opposed to more passive statements, I'll do another video. Just let me know. Until next time, this is Nandi. Remember to join me next week for more videos on healthy lifestyle. So the channel is Vibrant Authentic Living. Check it out on YouTube. That's Vibrant Authentic Living. Check me out, subscribe, and you'll have access to more videos on making smoothies, um, exercise, meditation, everything that has to do with vibrant, authentic living. So, this is Nandi, and I'll see you next time.